Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here and welcome to another episode of Brad's Vlog. So just this past weekend I was camping out on Salt Spring Island here in BC. Very, very beautiful island, one of my favorites. Used to live there for several months. And I just camped overnight in about 0 degrees Celsius weather. So had my car, had a little tent with me, went to a campsite, just set up tent, and probably didn't get to sleep till about 2:30 in the morning, so I was hearing a lot of other people just kind of coming into the campsite, climbing around in that way, but it was okay. It was forgivable. But it was very, very interesting because for me to actually get up in the morning and go out and just travel about 15-20 minutes to go get some food in the morning and just really enjoying the entire atmosphere of camping. And that was actually my very first camping trip that I did on my own on Salt Spring Island. So I really, really enjoyed it so much. But just being able to really enjoy the sights and the sounds of nature that was around me, and just being able to really kind of get a download. I was realizing, I said, this is it. This is really what it's all about. I was just there with, a few little things with myself, running off and going to a grocery store to get some stuff, some food, but knowing that everything was just perfect in that moment, because there was really in that idea of understanding that less is more. So I didn't really have that much stuff with me. Had a couple little things, didn't really have any utensils, didn't really have any cooking utensils or anything like that, but I was really just enjoying that particular night when I was camping. I was just enjoying being able to walk through the woods, pitch black, with my camera phone, had a little light on it, and I was like, this is exhilarating, and I feel like I'm on an adventure, to go back to my campsite, and I'm going through the woods, and I'm looking into the trails, and I'm venturing back to where my tent is, and I was just thrilled. Like, this is it. It's something that's just so simple. Many of us camp in that way. But being able to really look at what I had available on myself, that I was just really in the bare bones, staying overnight in this beautiful campsite, surrounded by nature, surrounded by this park, surrounded by these beautiful trees, in pitch black night, and knowing that I just had to journey, quite far to go get my morning breakfast, and then, it was amazing. And this was really just my whole download that I was getting, is that this is the way to live. This is the whole idea about being very nomadic. I don't want to say the name minimalist, because minimalists, again, can be thrown around here and there, but it's the idea in that sense of being truly nomadic, of being completely connected with the earth, and that, for example, you get an RV camper, and you just travel. You just go throughout all these different places. You set up camp at campsites, or you do road camping, whatever it is. It was so exhilarating to me. I just woke up that morning, again, went off and got breakfast, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the way to live. This is everything that I am talking about. This is everything that Adronis has been talking about. It is just that really great love and appreciation for really not having much with yourself as far as supplies or anything of that nature, but just having the bare bones, just having the bare necessities, so to speak, and being able to just camp out in nature, and not knowing exactly what you're going to do for breakfast, and not knowing what you're going to do. It's just all this spontaneity of being out in the wild and enjoying the camp and enjoying nature, and like this is it. This is exactly what the yogis knew. This is what the mystics knew. This is what many of the spiritual masters realized, was the idea of just being able to go out into nature and just live, and don't worry about where things are coming from, or what you're going to do next, or how you're going to get this, or how you're going to get that. And this is kind of the funny story that I really wanted to do with this blog as well too. Because over a year ago, I was living in Victoria, BC, and I had my townhouse, and I had everything, right? I had a computer, I had all kinds of appliances, I had a big space and all that, and so I really felt quote unquote conveniently secure. But what I was discovering, and what actually allowed me, I would say, what actually caused me to move to Salt Spring Island was that I was bored as hell, right? And it wasn't anything to do with my sessions or anything. I love, doing the sessions, and I love being able to work together with people, but it was beyond that. It's when I wasn't doing the sessions. It's when I was wondering, what should I do next? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And there was just so much convenience inside where I was located. There was a big grocery store right next to me. There was all kinds of amenities right next to me as well too. I had convenience all around me, right? There was no problem with that. And it just bored me to death. And so this is where I felt, I want to have an adventure. I want to go out and I'll go to like an island that I'm not really too familiar with, and stay in a cabin, and being able to be on a lake and have to go pretty far out to get stuff and all that. That was exciting to me, right? And so that's what led me into going to Salt Spring Island and having an incredible time there. Absolutely loved it. It was like an adventure. It was great. And this was, again, something I looked back on because I was saying, wow, what was it that was causing me to feel so bored in Victoria? It's because I had everything, right? I had everything available to me. Everything was so convenient. I had a whole bunch of stuff. I had a house. I felt completely, totally, conveniently secure. And that was the biggest trap. And this even goes back to some of my earlier videos on the YouTube channel where I was talking about going back into the wild, going back into nature as well too. And that was so true because that was absolutely liberating. And so when I went on this camping trip and just went back into that feeling again, like I did when I first lived in Salt Spring, I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. I love this, right? I don't ever want to not do this, right? So, like I said, it's not really about me living as a minimalist, but it's the idea in that sense of being much more, quote-unquote, nomadic, like a nomadic living, right? Not being able to live off, just having a coffee cup and saying that you use that coffee cup for 1,000 things. That doesn't matter, right? It's the whole idea that you're free, that you're liberated, that you can go inside an RV camper, you buy one, and you just start traveling. You travel throughout provinces, you travel throughout states, you start meeting people, and your home is that trailer, right? Your home is that RV. And even when I was in Arrington with my 40-foot trailer, I loved it. It was absolutely beautiful. I had this big 40-foot trailer. Granted, I couldn't take it anywhere, but I was surrounded by nature as well too. And again, I had a limitation of what I could put inside that trailer due to size, and I loved that, right? I would rather be inside a small 26-foot trailer, 26-foot RV, than having a gigantic, 6-bedroom house. That's really my own particular mentality. So really what I'm sharing here altogether is that the aspect of freedom does not come from the idea about how much conveniences we throw upon ourselves. It's really all about the idea about how we can continue to have that feeling of liberation by not feeling conveniently secure, but feeling expansive, that we can go and we can do anything, that we can visit anybody, that we can go see these sites without anything stopping us, that there's just you on the road, right? There's you in this trailer on the road, and you're free to go anywhere. You're free to be this nomad, right? It doesn't have to mean that you have to see every single country on the planet. It's just your own surrounding area, right? That every single day you can wake up and you're somewhere new, right? You're waking up and you've traveled somewhere else. You've met new people. You've saw new sights that you haven't seen before, right? So it's just all about this idea of a great adventure, of being a nomad, right? And so that's going to be a lot of my intention. Right now I'm staying in Vancouver, here in Kitsilano, and I'm going to be staying here till about the springtime. My next step is buying an RV, and I'm also going to have a home base here, so I'll probably get like another small place. But I'm going to have my RV, and I'm just going to travel. And I'm just going to go from place to place to place to place while doing my sessions, while doing my work, while I'm traveling inside an RV. And that may lead to some new series coming in for the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel as well too. He's just traveling and showing you guys the sights as well too. BC, Canada, it's one of the most beautiful places there is, and there's so much to see, right? So that is really my intention. It's really what I've decided to do, is saying that, just having this overnight camping trip and just, having this adventure and just being able to go through the woods at night and and you're just not too sure where you're going, but you're excited about it. It feels exhilarating. It's just like you're present. You feel so present because you're really watching the path. You're finding out where you're going. Oh my God, now there's 2 or 3 paths. What path was it? I got to talk to Spirit about that. Oh, Spirit says, okay, it's this way. Okay, I'm walking this way. It was exhilarating, man. It was just, it was brilliant. That was it. This is living. This is life. This is what it's all about. And I can really understand people who decide to have van life, right? To basically go out into their vans, who go out into their RVs, and they just want to travel, and they have this little trailer of theirs is their home. That's their mortgage payment, right? That's their house. That's what they own. That's beautiful, and that's like the most amazing thing, and that is exactly what I want to experience. That's the key here. So being able to live in a 40-foot trailer for 6 months was awesome, but being able to have an RV trailer, an RV camper, 26-footer, whatever it may be, whatever I end up getting, putting solar panels on it, and just being able to make this my blissmobile, I guess you could say, is by far one of the most exciting things for me right now. And then being able to do all my work on the road as well too, because nothing's more thrilling than my own work, than my own sessions and my events. Doing these videos, of course, thrills me to the bone. But being able to do that while I'm traveling, while I'm on the road, while being nomadic in that way, it's exhilarating, right? So this is something that I'm putting out there. This is something that is an intention for me. Come the springtime is being able to get an RV, being able to really kind of soup it up, put some solar panels on it as well too, and then just start exploring BC. Maybe going down to Western Washington as well too, going down to the States. Just a lot around the Pacific Northwest, I would say. That would certainly be my intention. And then just waking up every morning knowing I'm somewhere else, right? And I don't recognize the place, but it's an awesome place, right? That is something that is so incredible, so wonderful. And this is like the pure freedom, the true freedom that comes together. It's just the knowing that you can explore, the knowing that you just have this small little thing, but it's your home, right? You don't need all these fancy gadgets and all these fancy utensils and all that stuff. You just have the bare bones. And to me, that is just, that's the path of the master, right? The path of the master, again, quote unquote, can be a minimalist, but it's the idea in that sense that they're nomadic, that anywhere they rest their head can be home, and that they know that they can travel and do anything. And that is the true path of a spiritual master. That is the true path of one who is following their heart and realizing that even if it's just a small little piece of land that's around me, there's so much to explore around that little land. And always waking up knowing that you're somewhere else and that you're just enjoying the ride. You're living life, and that is the greatest thrill, greatest excitement to me, living in that particular type of nomadic life. So that is where I'm going to be transitioning to as we move more into the summer, not the summer, the springtime. And of course, still having a little home base camp here in Vancouver, but again, spending a lot of time on the road, traveling, documenting as well too, and sharing it with you all, and really just saying, this is mastery. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of Brad's Vlog, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Namaste, and may it be well with you all. Take care.